For the paper mache over modeling clay, you're going to come to the two big cabinets by the sculpture table. And we are going to need the modeling clay for paper mache, which is this little bunny icon or label. And we'll need paper strips. And you're going to also need some art paste or paper mache paste and a plate. So to grab this, it's kind of really heavy, so you probably will just pull it a little bit and then grab what you need. I would suggest grabbing a step stool and standing up here so you don't have to take down this huge tub, because the tub is really heavy. So grab like 1 or 2 pieces of modeling clay, and then you'll need paper, which is right below. And in the next cabinet over is where you'll find your paper mache paste and your plate to set your pieces on. Make sure your plate has your name on it so we know it's yours. For this project, we're going to be paper macheing over clay. And then we'll end up cutting the clay in half, or the paper mache in half, and then you'll paper mache it back together. So that might be confusing, but what we are going to first start with is you're going to get a ball of clay, and then you are going to make it into whatever kind of thing you want. So here are some ideas. You could do like the letter of your name, maybe like an animal, but it needs to be something very simple. I did a donut, so think about food, or like here's another animal. That's kind of a little harder. But you're gonna use the clay and you'll shape it in to what you would like to do. So if I want to do a letter of a name, I'm gonna use the clay and try and shape it to be like that. And then you want your pieces to be very like simple. So it can't have like a lot of details. So you don't have to worry about like making tiny little eyes. It just has to be kind of a simple shape of it. If you have too much details, you're not going to be able to see them with the paper mache. So when I like stick on my pieces for my son, I'm going to kind of smooth them into each other. And then I'm going to keep on going. Okay, whenever you have your shape of what you would like, you're going to start paper macheing over it. So I'm going to show you with this little donut. So we need our paper and we need the paper mache paste. So with our paper strips are going to have to be tiny. So I'm going to just tear these to make them nice and small because my paper mache is small. Okay. Now I'm going to need around 5 layers. So I'm going to get my glue out. Let's see. And since what I'm working with is pretty small, I'm just going to get a little bit on my fingers, rub them together. Okay. Your hand shouldn't be dripping with paper mache paste. You just need kind of a little, and since we're working on this and it's tiny, you don't need a lot. And then now I'm going to get the paper mache paste on both sides of my paper, and then we are going to start covering this. So with this hole, I had to make sure I get all the sides, and I'm just going to keep covering. So I'm going to get glue on this piece, both sides, and keep covering. So I need around 5 layers. Since it's a small piece, it shouldn't take that long, but we have to make sure we get the inside and the outsides. Then if any of your paper has like ink or something, try and put that face down so it's white facing up. So I'm going to put this, I want my ink to be face down and the white up, because when we paint this, it's going to be easier to paint. So then also when I'm putting this on, I am smoothing out the paper. There's always going to be a little bit of wrinkles, but if we can try and just at least smooth it so there's not huge wrinkles, it'll look a lot better. All right, so I put on a lot of pieces with the same amount of glue. Whenever I need more glue, I'm going to just dip my fingers just a little bit, but we don't need globs of glue. Okay. You will keep on adding paper till you have it covered around like 5 times. The more paper, the better, because it's gonna make it stronger. But we only need around like 5 layers. So then after that, then it has to dry. All right, and then I'm going to show you where we're going to leave it to dry. All right, so we're going to put it on a plate. Since it's tiny, you can put a couple other of your classmates on the same plate. Just make sure you take off some tape. I should probably have clean hands for this. Or you can do this beforehand. And you're going to write your name on that piece of tape. That way we know it's yours. Okay, so I'm going to finish this, but that is how you do the paper mache. All right, once you think you have all your layers on, you are going to just take a final little smooth. So you're just going to rub your hands over all the paper to make sure you have all the paper like sticking to each other and make sure it's nice and smooth. So I'm just rubbing my hands over the whole thing. I'm thinking I have 5 layers. If you don't have 5 layers, it is going to break, and we don't want that to happen. So I'm going to keep smoothing it down so that way everything, there's no paper sticking up. All right, then I'm going to let it dry. Once it is dry, the teacher is going to cut it in half with the exacto knife and take out all the clay. Once the clay is out, and you're going to have 2 pieces, and you're going to have to put it back together in paper mache. So it's like we're almost bandaging the 2 joints. So we're going to paper mache over the little cut lines one more time. So we're going to probably add around 2 layers over just the cut line just to make it strong. It's like you're basically bandaging it back together. So line it up, and then I have 2 cut lines, so I have to put it on both. So I'm going to just paper mache these back together. Once you got it paper mache'd all back together, you're going to let it dry, and then once it's dry, there's no clay inside, you are ready to start painting.